Hi class, this is section 6.6, Trapezoids and Kites. So we are moving away from the parallelograms that we've been focusing on, and now we're going to focus on those other two branches of the quadrilateral tree, the kites and the trapezoids. So you'll be able to use properties of trapezoids and kites to solve problems today. First, let's do a quick review. Label the parts of an isosceles trapezoid below. So an isosceles trapezoid is very similar to an isosceles triangle. It's going to have two bases instead of one, like the isosceles triangle. The bases in this case are going to be the parallel sides. So in this trapezoid, the top and the bottom are going to be parallel. The other two sides are called legs. Now we're going to have two sets of base angles. Remember, in an isosceles triangle, the base angles are congruent. Well, the same thing happens in an isosceles trapezoid. These two base angles are congruent, and these two base angles are congruent. Notice that they are not all four congruent. These are different, right here and right here. Theorem: the base angles of an isosceles trapezoid are congruent. Same side interior angles are supplementary. So, same side interior angles are on the same side, and they're on the inside of the parallel lines. So, here and here would be same side interior. W and Z would be same side interior, which means they would be supplementary. Find all the angles in X, W, Y, Z. Well, if angle Z is 120, I know that angle Y is 120 because they're base angles. I also know that W and X are supplementary to 120 because they're the same side interior angles. So both of those are going to be 60 degrees. Now in our second figure, we have some algebraic expressions. So we're going to first need to find what y is. I know that both of the angles are base angles, so I'm going to set those equal to find that y is 15. Theorem: the diagonals of an isosceles trapezoid are congruent. So if you have an isosceles trapezoid and you draw in your diagonals, those two diagonals are going to be congruent. Find the lengths of the diagonals. So TA, this whole diagonal, is 4y plus 6, and RP, this whole diagonal, is 7y minus 3. This is an isosceles trapezoid, so I'm going to set those equal and get that y is equal to 3. Then I have to plug that in to find the lengths for the diagonals. So I plug in 3 to get that TA is 18, which means that RP is also going to be 18 because they're congruent. The diagonals of a kite are going to be perpendicular. That means that they're going to form a 90-degree angle where they meet. The angles formed by the non-congruent sides are congruent. So remember, in a kite, you have consecutive congruent sides. This side and this side are congruent, and this side and this side are congruent. So the non-congruent sides would be these two and these two. So the angles that are formed by those sides are going to be congruent. So that angle and that angle will be congruent. Find the measures of all the missing angles. I want you guys to try this on your own, and then I'll go over the answers. So angle 1 is very easy to find because I know the diagonals meet at a 90-degree angle, so angle 1 has to be 90 degrees. Now, how to find angles 3 and 2 and all of those? You have to think a little bit more about it. So angle 2 is going to be 46, and angle 3 is going to be 44. So let's talk about that. I know that all four of these angles are 90, which is going to make this angle right here be 44, which means that this angle over here is 44 because these two sides are congruent, which makes an isosceles trapezoid. So we're actually going to find angle 3 first whenever you were doing this on your own. So let me go over what I just said. This is an isosceles trapezoid. This is an isosceles triangle, sorry. which means these base angles are congruent. So this angle is not labeled, and this one's angle 3. I know that this is 90 and this is 46, which makes this angle 44. So the other base angle has to be 44. Then again, we have 44 and 90, which make this angle 46. Find the measures of all the missing angles. I want you to try this one on your own. The answers are that X is 70, Z is 110, and Y is 110. Find the measures of all the missing angles. I want you to try this one on your own. You're going to get that angle 1 is 72, angle 2 is 90, and angle 3 is 18. Did you meet the target? Find the measure of WT if ZX is 20 and TY is 15. So you're finding WT, this length right here, if ZX is 20 and TY is 15. Notice the parallel lines right here and that these two sides are marked congruent. I will see you in class.